He's like, I don't know what we're doing. I don't know if that's him looking for reassurance from us
He's
or
looking
what.
for reassurance. He's not quite ready to eat yet. Now that tells you something. If you have a little something for the dog to munch on, and you go somewhere new, and you offer the food, and the dog won't take the food, the dog isn't comfortable enough with the environment.
That makes sense, yeah.
So I have an arrival. If you have that problem, I have an arrival sequence. I have a question. Do you walk him?
Not often, no.
Okay.
No. We are starting to, though, now in this new house with this new neighborhood and our sidewalks, we've started to get back into it.
Okay. Good. Because there's a 3-prong stool to 3-legged stool to training. One is enrichment. This is all enrichment. One is teaching skills. And the other is, are we rolling? Yeah. The other is exercise. So if the dog isn't getting exercise, they're going to be frustrated in some way. You know? So, anyhow, everything's off of him.
Yeah, you got slobber. Oh, you got slobber all
Oh,
over
don't worry
yourself.
about his slobber.
Look at your shit all
Do not worry about his slobber. We are going to try to get as much as we can of this. There you go. Perfect. So I'm going to. This is Happy Howie.
Oh.
It comes. I get 5 for $25.
Oh, wow.
It's a meat roll.
Is it specifically for a dog?
Yeah.
Oh.
I cut it in half.
Uh-huh.
I put the flat sides down. I cut that through the center, and then I do another cut and another cut, and then I put the flat sides down, and then I do about 5 cuts, and then I chop it the other way. And you can chop it into very small treats because he certainly doesn't need anything.
Yeah.
He's not terribly fond of it, but he will be.
Yes.
It doesn't have a whole lot of ingredients. It's good for dogs, and here's the thing. You cut that up, you put it in a bag like this, you put it in the refrigerator, it lasts 2 weeks.
Okay.
So every time you're going to do something, you're going to train for 10, 15, 20 treats, you go to the refrigerator, you put the treats in your pocket. The treats do not crumble.
Yeah, that's good.
In your pocket. Yeah, so those are licky mats. And this is a licky mat without anything on it. Silly me. And but this has a lot of suction cups. And when you want to, does he have front paw sensitivity or his buddy?
I don't think so. I've never noticed that.
Anyhow, how about grooming?
I haven't watched when he's been groomed, so I'm not sure if they've ever said. They've never mentioned it to me, but that doesn't mean that it might not happen.
So you don't.
Nothing that I'm aware of.
Nothing that you do at home or anything. No.
I think that
Anyhow,
was
this is really nice if you're going to do something at home.
Okay.
Because you put, like what's there, you put that in that, and then the dog is busy licking while you're busy examining his ears. Because the time to teach a dog about ear medication or eye medication is not when they need it.
Yeah, that's a good
It's
point.
before. Okay,
Yes.
so enough about, anyhow, I got Haven 2 years ago. So,
Okay, so he's been with you for 2.
it's been with me for 2. All right, Ava. I hear you're having a rough time in your relationship. Can you tell me about it? What happened? What?
Yeah,
Talk up a little bit, I'm old.
it was like in the morning, and he was laying a little on me. And
Up on your bed?
yeah, and he was like laying a little on me, and then he started like meowing, and then I was petting him, then I tried to kiss him and then he bit me.
Okay. Alright, so was that the last time?
This is from this right now.
Right, okay, so what happened the first time?
Remember the first time that he did that to your face? Do you remember the details about that?
Yeah, that was like a month.
Okay, but what happened? Because it will be helpful for her to know.
Like, I had a blanket over.
Okay, yeah. I forgot that you said that, yeah. She said the last time before, she knows that it was probably her fault because she thought to be playing with him, put a blanket over her face and kind of was making like a growling noise back at him to play. Is that what you told me before? Okay. And then you took the blanket off?
Yeah.
And then he bit you?
Yeah.
Okay.
What happened right before you, was that what we always want to know with a dog bite is what happened right before the dog bit.
Mm-hmm.
So did the blanket come off and the dog? It's not always easy. I have been attacked by dogs, and I couldn't tell you what the last thing was that happened because I was busy protecting myself.
Right.
You know.
Okay, but the last thing you can remember is that you had the blanket on. You were kind of growling, pretending you were playing with him like that. But then you took the blanket off.
I think that's what happened.
And then he was immediately.
I think.
Okay. I mean, that's
Okay,
the best
that's
you
all right.
remember then.
So you have done nothing wrong. Okay, I want you to understand that first. You have misinterpreted body language, and you are not alone. It amazes me that dogs are as loving to us as they are because they do not speak English. They speak with body language, okay? So there is body language, and I'm going to send your mom a lot of stuff about body language, and she's going to sit down with you. Several of them are YouTube videos. So I don't know whether you can do YouTube by yourself. She can, or, I don't know about social media, is. Anyhow, you'll watch these videos and you'll start to understand what's going on, okay, with the dog. And because the dog always signals. The one thing a dog does is it does this. Have you ever seen your dog do that? Like, have you ever gone to take a picture and your dog immediately turns its head?
Have you noticed that? There may be other signals that we don't know, or signals that we've seen, but I haven't noticed that.
My other dog, he just doesn't want to take a picture, so he just goes.
So he goes like that. Okay, so that's slow your roll. This is too much pressure on me. I don't know what's happening. I'm uncomfortable with this environment. I am uncomfortable. That is what the dog is saying.
Okay.
So, if I was working with you and you said to me, I am uncomfortable, Candace, and I didn't listen to that and continued down the avenue I was going down, you might bite me if that was your mode of communication. That's sort of where they're at. They give you their body signals. They tell you, I don't want that. And then the next thing out is the 42 pearly whites come out. And there is not a dog in the universe that will not bite. Now, there are dogs that are really low risk as far as bite, but there isn't a dog provoked.
Yeah, pushed to them.
Pushed to their limit. Their limit. So what we have to kind of do with Nico now and you, we have to rebuild the trust in your relationship. I'm going to show you some games to play with Nico that are not going to put you in danger of having your face bit. Because Lord knows you have a very pretty face and what you don't need are dog scars.
Right.
Unless you're planning to be a world famous dog trainer. So dogs communicate through body language. Most families do not understand a dog's body language. They are not familiar with it. And and the fact that dogs put up with us at all, think about it. If you went somewhere and they didn't speak English, you would get pretty frustrated with them as they continue to ignore your communications. You would be like, hey, all right, he's comfortable now. All right, he's comfortable. What'd you say?
Just wipe it off. He's licking me too. She said I need a wipe. He's licking me.
Oh yeah, well you taste good. Yeah. So one thing you're not going to do is you are not going to put your face in the vicinity of his teeth. Okay, again, that's just, I don't know why people do that. That is such a human characteristic. Hugging, humans hug. Dogs, that's a lot of pressure on a dog, and they don't like it. Have you ever noticed your dogs playing and one dog jumps on top of the other? That is the equivalent in dog language of the human hug.
Okay.
And that is, have you watched in the wild when the puma is going for the prong thing and catches it, and the first thing it does is jump on its back? That is considered a aggressive move in this world. All right. Now you might develop a relationship. My boxer, one of his favorite things to do is to put his feet on either side of me and have me hug him. I don't know who taught him that. That is the last thing I would do with the dog is hug him. But he likes that. So I don't know. Every dog is an individual. So we have to find. You two have to build your trust. He doesn't feel badly at all about biting you by the dog. He has no remorse whatsoever. And I'll tell you why. Dogs live in a world where it's safe or it's not safe. It's safe, it's dangerous, okay? They don't live in a world of right and wrong. Moses did not come down off of the mountain for dogs, okay? There is no 10 commandments. There's no, dogs do dog things. They don't think they do anything wrong. If they're doing it, it's a dog thing, okay? So we have to, our job as humans, having pets or just having dogs, is to teach them the behaviors that will give them the reinforcement and the reward, the positive reinforcement and the reward they're looking for, which is a primary resource, which is food, okay? So that is it. Dogs don't do anything wrong. Just know that. The dog either feels safe or it doesn't feel safe. If it doesn't feel safe, it is going to let you know. One of the things that it has in its arsenal of letting you know is the bite. So, we would like Nico not to bite, so what we're going to do is start rebuilding your trust relationship with Nico. We're going to teach Nico that he can trust you, not to scare him, not to startle him, not to try to hug him, not to try to kiss him, none of those things. And you're going to do that by showing him the behaviors you want him to do and reinforcing them. You're going to give him some skills. We're going to give him some tools for that little tool belt that he's not wearing. I can't quite get into anymore, but we're still going to get it to him. So that's going to be, so I have many different things that I'm going to have to bring my boxer out here to clean up on aisle 4. I don't know what to tell you. I have
You're not
never.
going to have any.
Look at all these goodies.
Go eat your treats. There's treats.
So, this is a snuffle mat.
Okay.
This is a snuffle mat. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
This is a nice looking snuffle mat that might go with your carpet. This is the garish green snuffle mat. You know.
Yeah.
So anyhow, this, anytime you have a dog and it's feeling a little stressed, and he's panting pretty heavily, that's a stress pant, okay? So, if we get the dog to put their nose down, that's one of the reasons I meet you over there, to allow the dog to have some time. Once their nose goes down and they start sniffing, that immediately engages this part of their brain, which is the thinking part of the brain. So they go out of this part, which is the, ooh, I'm a dog, you know?
Yeah.
and they start thinking, oh, I better think about this. And you can really teach them to think. And the first time you see your dog thinking, I have to tell you, it's like really amazing. It's like, oh my God, I saw the dog thinking.
Yeah.
I saw him choose to do that behavior instead of this one I don't like. It's our job to teach them what we want them to do. Once they're fluent in a behavior, it's perfectly fine to say no. But it's not fair to say no if they don't know. It's just not fair to say no. So you are going to get a ton of information from me.
Okay.
You are going to get there's going to be a couple of YouTube videos that I really want you to watch.
Okay.
One is with Sue Garrett. The other one is with Kiko Pup. Anything, either of those women, you want to look. Those are professional dog trainers that I have the utmost, highest respect for. Those are mentors.
Okay.
So you get a lot of information on the internet. I mean, you can go, I have over 500 videos. Some of my videos are terrible. I was learning, you know, but I have them up there. I had a video have 80 views, and I was shocked. I mean, you know, people have 5 million views, and that, for me, 80 views was like, oh my God, who's looking at me? Who's watching this? So, yeah, but I do a lot of training videos to show clients after we've gone through the lesson that they have that, so that they can see, and then they'll have written, so they can follow along with the written.
Yes.
They can see if I do. So now we come down to, do you have any questions? Am I really talking too much at you?
No, I don't have any.
Yeah, okay. So I'm not talking too much at you. I know it's a lot of information. I am an educator. I am an okay dog trainer. I am an educator. You know, I can get dog training done. It's not my love. Teaching people about dogs that's my jam. Is teaching folks about dogs. That's what I love. I love doing that. I'm not a behaviorist because I don't like paperwork. So he's getting more comfortable.
I think so.
Not comfortable enough to
Do anything yet?
to do anything yet.
Just Me too.
Hey, buddy. Nico, buddy. Do you want a drink? Look at this.
Some water? You drinking water?
Look, look, look.
Some water.
Look, look, look. Look, look, look. Come on, buddy.
Go get some water. Go get water.
You want a drink? Okay. Maybe you don't need a drink. So dogs are one of the only mammals that follow our gaze.
Oh, interesting.
You can't do this to a monkey. They're not going there. They have no idea what that means. But dogs, they will follow our gaze. That's why when you're teaching come, and you're standing there at 12 o'clock from the dog and you're telling it to come, your feet are pointed in that direction, your gaze is going that way, you are giving a mixed signal. So when I teach people to teach come, I'm like, you're running like this, and the minute the dog starts following you, you say their name, Nico, come, and then you toss a treat out in front of them. And then you start back this way, Nico, come, and you don't say the word C-O-M-E until the dog is doing the behavior.
Okay.
So you don't say Nico, come, and expect the dog to do that. You have to teach the dog the word. The last thing the dog ever learns is a verbal cue.
Okay.
So when we teach a cue, when we teach a dog about a behavior we want it to do, there's a couple ways to do it. One way is to capture the behavior. So they sit, we mark that behavior, good or yes, and we give them a treat.
Okay.
So, and you remember when this dog was a puppy? You remember the first time it sat? And everyone was, oh, it's so cute, oh my God, it's sitting, oh my God. Well, you know, the dog went, hey, this is a good thing for me. I'm going for it, okay?
Yes.
So, that's why sit is just, you know, right there. And people don't have the same excitement about down. That's why often dogs don't do down as well as they do sit. Because people don't teach down. You know, they don't reinforce down the way sit is reinforced.
I've been teaching them to lay down
With treats.
and give paw.
It doesn't work.
Yes, it does. But you have to fade the lure. The treat is a lure.
I don't use it.
Yes, she does this. Which I guess
Yeah,
they
that's fine.
understand.
But you do 3 with a treat in it. And yes, and give them the treat once they're down. And then you fake it. And then so now the dog has body language, which he understands. He understands all of your body language. He understands more about you than you understand or your parents understand about you. He understands every move you make. Okay? He understands that he didn't have anything else to do but sit around and watch you. He knows what's going on.
Yes.
So, did you see the kitty or the ferret up there? So, when you do this with a lure 3 or 4 times, and then you just do this. That is a hand signal. That is body language. That's the next way that they learn.
I
And
do this for them to sit, and then I do this for them to
yes, absolutely.
and then this to
And then this is stand.
like give paw.
Oh, give paw. Okay, yeah, okay. So, luring is one way to teach a behavior. Capturing the behavior, so the puppy sat and everyone got all excited, and you know, and that's another way to teach a behavior. You capture, you lure, or the third way to teach a behavior is to shape it. Shaping a behavior is breaking the behavior down into the tiniest of pieces. So I want the dog to down. So I do my hand signal and the dog's head drops. And I, yes, and reinforce that. Okay? And then the next time, I want the elbows to go down a little bit, you know. So you shape it. But you have to, but that is, you have to break a behavior up into increments. You have to think about it ahead of time. What are those increments going to be? How, you know, so that you can move through the shaping process until you're getting exactly what you want. So those are the ways that we teach dogs. Those are the ways you teach Shamu at Marine World. You know, that's the way. Any marine life, the zoos. If you watch the zoo on, do you ever watch the zoo? Oh, it's on like one of the 38, 37, something like that. That is a great thing to watch. That is a great thing to watch because they show you how to you know, they have the gorilla come and put its chest here so they can do the EKG on it. I mean, they work with the lions and the tigers and the venomous snakes and it's all positive reinforcement. Positive reinforcement came about in the late 90s. And it is basically, startling. It is basically applied behavior analysis. Okay? So that is what it is. And it's all about Pavlov, who he was the guy with the dogs that salivate, and B.F. Skinner. And Skinner's box, you know, positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement, positive punishment, negative way.
Yes.
That is dog training.
Okay. He likes the tricks.
Oh yeah, well that's
show the tricks.
That's chopped liver. He likes chopped liver.
Let's show it.
Uh-huh.
I'll show you the Nico. Sit. Nico.
Might need more of his attention. He
might be a little hesitant. Yeah, there we go.
Good boy.
Good.
Good boy.
Very
Nico.
good. And you did that absolutely correctly. Anytime a dog is in a down, the treat goes between their paws. When they're in a sit, it's hand to mouth. Okay? That's delivery. And when you want to keep on training the same behavior, you want to move the dog out of position. So you want to treat out of position so the dog can come back and repeat the behavior.
Okay.
Because they can't repeat the behavior if they're still there in the same place where they did the behavior. You have to throw it over there, and they'll come back, they do the behavior. Okay, so questions?
So I know you spoke to Cliff, so I was just wondering, how can you determine whether he's just, I mean, maybe just from the information we gave you about those two situations, like how can you determine whether he's, I don't know, just has like an aggressive part of him, or you feel that he is, can you tell at this point if he's was just, you know, reacting negatively, obviously,
These
in those
two
situations?
have a relationship.
They do.
He doesn't have, you know, he is not scared of her in any way. I mean, he might be in a certain situation, but they have a relationship. I think we just need some education on how to deal with dogs. You're going to get a ton of it from me. You are going to get so much from me. One of the things, there is a dog's body language by Zoom Room. Zoom Room are franchises on the West Coast that have indoor agility. I mean, if we ever needed anything here, it's to have an indoor agility because it's too hot to do anything outside. So but they don't have them here, and it's about 2,000 for the. See, they have a great relationship.
So
I don't think
you don't think he's like a, I don't know, you wouldn't label him as a
aggressive dog. No.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so either. But I just wanted to hear your thoughts on it.
No, absolutely not. And I think some education here, learning things to do in deference to things you don't want.
Okay.
You don't want to do.
Okay.
You don't want to put your face in the dog. Some dogs, you can do that with. But better safe than sorry.
Right, and I think it does depend too on maybe each individual person and the relationship.
Oh, absolutely.
Because like I was telling Ava, I was like with you, and even like I don't know if Cliff mentioned, but with her brother who's 12, he's nipped it, not broken skin, but he's nipped at him before. And I told them.
Well, and he should be here too.
Yeah, he should actually. I didn't even think about that. It's just she's first on my brain because
well,
of
of course,
injury,
because she has broken skin. That's scary.
Yeah, but then I know there's things which I was like, well, I will stop doing those now if that will help. But there's things I've done with him, just like which you're telling me now. I probably shouldn't, but I will like kiss him on his cheek or hug him, and he's completely accepting of that of me.
He's accepting.
But obviously, not the
but
same. Not the
you're
same
setting
thing.
an example.
Right. I know. Yeah.
That they can't quite pull that off yet.
Right.
And one of the reasons
so that's why
why.
I said once I learned that, I said I'm not going to do that now. So,
Ava, do you feed? Do you feed Nico?
do you give him this? You don't give him his breakfast and dinner now.
No, I just give him treats.
Just treats.
So that might not be a bad thing. One of the reasons why, well, you are an authority figure to him.
That's what I was
you are on the canine list. You are above him. Kids,
right, and that's what I think had some to do with it as well, because he definitely acts differently in those moments, things like that. Which I understand now, but with Logan and Ava, I don't think he would ever try that with me or with my husband or even our older son who's 16, but he looks like a grown man.
So how old is Logan?
He's 12.
Oh, he's an old man.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's old. 7 is senior citizen.
Oh, okay.
Okay. 2 is adult.
Oh no, you're talking about for son?
The other dog. I'm sorry.
Oh no, sorry. No, Logan's my son.
That's your son.
Her brother. Yeah. Okay, but Baxter. It's okay. So I was like, what do you mean? Hold on, what do you mean?
Yeah,
I was like, I don't think he's
I don't think he's an old man.
I was like, well, 12's young to me, but it's okay. So Baxter.
So
is
this is one thing I want you to do.
Yes.
I want you not to tap him on the butt because you want his attention. When he's moving his attention away from you, you can call him. If he turns and puts his attention back on you, then do what you want to do.
Not tap him. Okay.
And if he's sleeping, you let sleeping dogs lie.
Okay.
You do not disturb a sleeping dog.
Okay.
For anything. If you want the dog up and about, crinkle a potato chip bag.
Okay. Because it'll startle them and they'll be.
Yeah, no, you just don't want. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just don't want to do that.
Good boy, Nico. Good boy. Sorry. So our other dog is a Chorky, and he is 5.
Almost.
Yeah, almost 6, but he's 5.
So who moves who around in the house?
He does. He's the younger one, but
he moves.
He's definitely established himself as I'm above you, Baxter. For sure.
Because my 6-pound Yorkie moved everybody around in the house. He was a terrorist.
Oh my goodness. I know there's something with the little dogs, but no, Baxter and their dynamic is interesting because they're both boys, and I think that kind of has something to do with it. But they're sweet together. I've seen them be so sweet to each other. but I can tell he tries to say I'm in charge here. I could just see it the way he acts.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that the Yorkie would do, the Yorkie was my sister's dog. Of course, I trained it, but she wanted a dog that would sit on her lap. I told her not the dog to get from the shelter.
Yeah.
At 5 years of age. But no, and I brought her a couple of dogs. These be nice. No, I want a dog that's in my lap. Okay, well, that goes away really quick, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because your legs go to sleep. But I have a love seat. Haven will be here. My boxer will be here. I'll be here. We'll be watching television. And suddenly, Haven would get up and go lay over on the couch. The next thing I knew, Finn would jump down and walk up the stairs and boom, right in my lap. And that was moving somebody around. That was 6 pounds, 57 pounds. That was moving somebody around. So he definitely, and he just, he moved everybody around. He did, he moved everybody. He gave dogs a bad name. There are such things.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to call him or smooch. You like that, don't you? Look, he looks right to you.
Yeah.
Should I go over there? What do you think, Ava? Well, buddy. Yeah. Hello, buddy. Hello. Aren't you cute?
He's
little-
super smart. I think he's so intelligent.
Yeah,
And he's very I don't know if you want to
listens.
put it like people-like a quality to him, but he's very good at listening. Like if you call, well, this might distract him, but when we're at home, if I say something to him, or even outside, if I just through the window, he's looking right at me.
Looking
Yeah,
right
he
at
has
you.
like a
He
lot of
pays
words.
attention well, more than I guess the differences between him and our little dog, who's like,
Yeah, no, that's a little
Yeah.
dog thing.
yeah.
But here's the thing. He has nothing. That is his language. He has nothing to do but,
That's true.
and he knows that speaking is your language. It doesn't mean he knows words. All dogs are different in how many words they know. So there is a border collie that knows 200 words. There is another border collie that knows 2,011 words.
Wow.
There is, I was walking Haven and I walk him off, he's allowed to walk off leash because he minds. When he doesn't mind, he goes on, but he's very scared of males. So, or even females if they're new. So now I put him on a leash when we're going to run into somebody, and I constantly feed him. Because the way to change a dog's behavior is to change how they feel about it. There is an emotion behind every behavior. So you have to address that emotion. Same with the bite. There was an emotion behind that bite. Sometimes we don't always know what the emotion is, but food definitely can bring a change in attitude, change in emotion.
Yes.
So, and isn't there someone in your class that you just don't like?
Maybe not this class. Maybe the last class. I don't know. We moved here recently, where she had to finish some of her 5th grade year at the new school here for just a couple months. So maybe not. Didn't really get to know Mom up yet there.
So I'm gonna teach you a couple things to take home and practice.
Okay.
Okay? So we're going to try to make. Hello. Yes. So I want him to touch my hand. I'm going to mark that behavior. So you tell me what word you want to use, yes or good?
Good.
Yeah? All right, so Good. So I'm not taking my hand to him. Can you see this? I'm not taking my hand to him. I'm putting my hand 1 to 3 inches from his nose. And his nose is working right now because the treat jar is open. Yes. And he is looking to figure out the fastest way to the treat. So he thought maybe doing this might be the fastest way to the treat. Yes. But he's now learning the fastest way to the treat is to touch my hand. Yes. Very good. Yes. Very good. Oh, this is fun, isn't it? Oh my goodness.
The best
Yes.
baby.
There you go. Hey, you missed your treat, buddy. Oh yeah, you got that scent over there too. That's what we just said.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're just gonna leave this open, but you're not gonna make it accessible to him. Okay. If he becomes unruly, we're gonna cap it up.
Okay.
These are at the dollar store. They're great to have treats around that, you know, and it teaches them impulse control. So you're going to, this week, you are going to put your hand out, good, 1 to 3 inches from the dog's nose. No more than 3 inches. Hey, buddy, you forgot your treat. See, he's not used to getting treats. So, he's not used to it. All right. 1 to 3 inches. Yeah, put it right down there. Oh, he's got his back to you now. So what I'd like you to do is take a treat out of there and toss it over here where he can see it and say, get it.
Nico. Nico, get it.
There you go. That's a get it cookie. Send those elephants away. Okay, now, so do it again. So what we're doing is we're letting him know that you have the resource now. He doesn't know you are the resource. He thought I said, yeah, this is now.
Nico,
Get it. There you go. And he heard that. Put your hand out. Yes.
Is it good?
Yeah, there you go.
Did it fall?
All right. Good. There you go. Be sure to say good. And say good before you stick your hand in the cookie jar.
Okay.
Good.
There you go. Your timing is impeccable. Perfect. Here's the thing. The marker word has to come on the heels of the behavior.
Okay.
The treat, take a bait, then give the treat. Okay? The treat does not, because remember, body language. Movement is going to overshadow everything. So you can be talking to him till you're blue in the face, but all he's seeing is his hand diving for the treats. And so that's why I don't mind sitting with an open jar. You can get to the point where you can put the open jar on the ground.
Yeah.
And so put your hand down.
Okay.
That's a little odd. Put it like this. Good. Oh, great. Buddy.
Now see good immediately as soon as he touches, and then give it. Just make sure it's clear and like immediate.
Nico.
So we're going to be doing treats for a while because
Okay.
I think it's
Good
time
job,
to put
Nico.
him into a training cycle.
Okay.
He's not getting the exercise he needs. So
We will fix that.
as much as you can fix him. Do you have a pool?
No.
Okay. Our boxer wouldn't go in the pool anyhow.
Oh really?
He doesn't even like to go out in the rain.
That's funny. Our little one doesn't like the rain, but he'll
So
kind
do
of-
your hand like that. More like this. So he's not doing this. So put the treats in the other hand. in the hand. Yeah. Now put that out in front of his face.
Like
No, your hand. Okay, so what's distracting him are the treats. You see how he's looking above your hand? So put the treats down in your, and now just stick your hand out.
that.
He's laser focused, but this is not the time to give up. He just doesn't understand what we want. It is extremely all-consuming because it is a treat he likes, and the odor is very prevalent in an open container. That's not the time to quit. Stick your hand out. Oh, don't you put your elbow out a little bit. There you go. Good.
Good job.
There you go. There you go, buddy. Good job.
Nico.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cap this up. And then I'm going to put this right here. And then you're going to do your hand. And when he touches your hand, you're going to say, good. And then you're going to grab the cookie jar, open it up, and give him a treat.
Nico.
Good.
Good.
There you go. And don't expect perfection at first. Don't worry about it. Once the dog understands the behavior, then you can dink on it and perfect it. You just want the dog thinking, not just reacting, but thinking.
Good.
There you go. And you don't have to sit down. You can stand and do it.
You can stand up right there. You can keep the lid off and just scoot it back a little. Kind of.
Good.
There you go. Just pay attention to not moving your hand into the dog's nose, not being more than 3 inches. So this is about 3 inches, so you're not very far off the dog's nose. This week it's 1 to 3 inches. Next week it's 3 to 6 inches. And then the week after that, you're going to present your hand, and as the dog starts to move towards it, you're going to move your hand a little bit away. So this now turns into, you want the dog off the bed? Touch. Boom, dog's off the bed. And you have a treat for him. Because I don't know, he sounds like if he's very comfortable, he might not be particularly happy if you try to remove him from a spot that.
Yeah, I guess it could be. I'm trying to think of any examples, but again, it's different with me. You just have to tell him to go. Get up and move.
Good.
There you go. So you're that's fine that you did that, but when you're teaching one behavior, you just had him do 2 more, so he doesn't know, because he's learning touch, he doesn't know. And you made an algebra problem out of a addition problem.
Yeah, adding on the other.
You added on difficulty.
Just making it simple.
That's fine, but you add on difficulty when they're fluent in the behavior.
Yeah.
Because trying to add it on ahead of time creates messing. It just creates messing. Okay? So that is touch. And I instead of saying heel, I go touch. And my dog comes up and he's in perfect heel position. His front paws are here and he's here. And if I want it high, I can do it this way. This is a good place to start treating him. Okay? Right at the seam of your pants. Good, yeah. Nice, yeah. And I'm just gonna move around. Get him used to being on your side instead of presented
Okay.
right in front of you, okay? I don't care which side, left, right. But up here, a few of these up here. And then that. There you go. So, on your side, you're gonna treat him on your side, okay? So you're gonna hold your hand straight down. Yeah, there you go. There you go. So we're getting him used to getting treats in a position he's not used to get. We're taking that frontal,
Yes.
we're making something more important than that frontal. Not the fronts aren't important, they are, but right now we've got a little sticky part there. So I just want her to develop some more effective habits
Okay.
with this dog,
Okay.
okay? And air biting is still a bite. That is the least on the bite scale. That is the least, but it's still a bite. Dogs don't ever, down by the, not behind you, but at the seat of your pants. Not the seat, the seam.
Right.
Yeah, so come out here a little bit. There you go. Put your hand down, yeah, right here at your side, right on your leg. So now he doesn't know where you are. There you go, very smart dog. Very smart dog. So we're just gonna move that way.
Okay.
What does Logan do that has him air nip?
It was the only two. I think it was only 2 times I ever saw that or talked to him about it. It was the hug thing. It was laying on the ground with him on his bedroom carpet or whatever, and laying next to Nico. But then he turned Nico's back. You know, Logan's laying like this, and then Nico's here. His back is here, and then that's that thing where it's coming from behind and like trying to hug, and you know.
This is not
So
a behavior that Nico likes.
Yes,
And
right. And then when I noticed that, I said, we're not doing that.
yeah,
We're not doing that anymore. You can't do that. You
I
can tell
don't
him
even touch dogs on the top of their head.
Oh, okay.
That is, I mean, he seems to be okay with it.
Yeah.
But, if you started touching underneath,
Always.
Or
like his whole face. I'm
Yeah.
always like this with me with him, but yeah.
but that's okay. And, paws are always sort of like the no-no spots and where dogs get antsy. My dog likes his butt scratched, but the side is nice,
And he loves his chest like this.
And
Loves
And
that.
Max loves it.
Yeah, and then Baxter likes his neck.
Yeah. Does he get in that position where do instructions come with this? I call it the cockroach.
Yeah, if he just belly, usually if he's laying on the ground, he's very much like, oh,
Oh,
thank you.
yeah.
But then sometimes he'll sit and then he does this because he knows if he's pawing at me, he wants me to see. He wants my pets, and then he loves
Yes.
it like this. This is his favorite. Just,
Oh yeah,
he'll
you
just
like that
sit
chest.
there.
You got that big
relax.
barrel chest too.
Yeah.
You're such a good-looking boy.
Thank you.
Yes,
So
such a good-looking
handsome,
boy.
Nico.
Gonna look at my little cheat sheet here. So we're going to do touch, all right? And you can continue to do your sit and down, and you can start to add a verbal cue for down. The way you add a verbal cue is you say the verbal first, down, and then you do whatever your motion is. If the dog doesn't go down on your verbal cue, which unless he's learned it, he won't. And then you do your hand cue. Dog goes down. If the dog still doesn't go down on the hand cue, then you lure the dog into it. You don't want to build frustration into anything. So if the dog doesn't get it, just know he's not obstinate. He's not stubborn. That is nothing. Dogs are not that.
Mhm.
Dogs don't understand or don't wanna.
Mhm. Mhm.
You know, they don't want it, but they don't do things. They don't hold grudges. They don't do things to, like, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, he was mad at me because I went away and
Yeah.
he peed on the floor. You know, no. He peed on the floor because he had to pee on the floor.
Yeah.
Because he had to pee.
Yeah.
Period. So, oh, he's getting into it. So
Yeah,
this,
he likes this.
this snuffle mats relax a dog. You will need 2.
Okay.
They're not terribly expensive. They're like $15, $16. I don't know, since we've got tariffs, how much they are.
Right. I don't know.
But they aren't particularly expensive. The licky mats can be quite fun,
Mhm.
and he doesn't seem to care about any of this stuff.
Yeah. I think
And then there's
like,
puzzle toys.
Mhm.
He got like
Yeah, I don't know. You might need a more brain around that one for some reason. That's still too. You
So
can
that's-
that way.
Yeah,
You have no idea.
Yeah, look at this.
Wow, Nico.
Look at that, Nico. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, he startles easily.
Yeah,
He does.
he does. Yeah.
So you have to be aware of that.
Mhm.
Stop moving. If you are ever out and a dog starts running at you, you become a statue.
Mhm.
That is your only defense, to become a statue. But he has, so here's the thing. If this is just started,
Mhm.
has the biting
Biting?
behavior
Mhm.
pretty new,
Mhm.
you need to get a vet appointment
Okay.
and have him manipulate for pain.
Okay.
Because 80% of the time dog bites happen from pain,
Okay.
okay? And dogs hide that they're in pain because it's dangerous to let somebody know you have a weakness, another dog, that you have a weakness, so you're not.
Mhm.
Oh, that's what. Well, he likes the looking at too. He's getting into it now.
Yeah.
You know, if you decide to come and do a few more, he'll be, you know, like an old timer. But he comes in here. There's been 15 dogs in there last week.
Mhm.
You know, so there's lots of smells. My dog's in and out. A car comes in here and parks, and goes back out and becomes my room, and
Yes.
then becomes my sister's room, and then becomes my room.
Yeah. Lots of things too.
So I want to teach you a fun little game to play with him that will have him put his attention on you, okay? Because I want him to start reorienting to any human. Reorienting means if the front door is wide open and you walk through the front door, you're going to turn around and look to your human.
Mhm.
You are not going to run off into the environment. Well, oh, I have a dog. You know,
Mhm.
you're gonna reorient to your human,
Okay.
and this will be especially helpful for you walking. Are you going to be walking? Do you work?
Mhm. Yeah.
Oh, look at you. I'd be
Got a
bored
lot
out of
to
my.
keep me
You,
busy.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
You don't need an outside job.
Right.
So I'm going to teach you up down because this is very fun. And I see Nico's treat of choice is dehydrated liver.
I was wondering what that was. Yeah.
I get it by Stewart.
Okay.
Not Stewart, Stewart.
Mhm.
I get the dehydrated liver. It will come in chunks like this, and then there'll always be a little debris on the bottom, you know.
Mhm.
But it normally comes in pretty big chunks, which you're going to have him on a diet.
Am I gonna have him on a diet? You're saying?
Yeah, you're going to have him on a diet.
Okay.
We're going to take, and the way you do that is you take a quarter cup of food away in the evening.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Will he, and here's the other thing. Take a quarter cup of food in the morning and you train with that kibble. Does he like his kibble?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So train with his kibble.
Okay.
See if you can get him to train with Cheerios.
Okay.
Cheerios have very little calories.
Yeah.
See if he'll train with green beans or carrots.
Okay. Good.
Or apple.
I think he would eat all of those. Yeah.
Apple is all, and you just chop it up and you're right there.
Okay.
This comes in a big tub like this, and it's like $36. I mean, this stuff is not cheap, but it's my dog's favorite.
So we're buying it.
And yours dogs too.
Yes,
But
apparently.
I am easy. So when you're going to do up down always starts with a treat on the ground. When you do it, I want your hands down here in a neutral position. You can have the treats in your hand, but your hands are here. If you have your hands here, which is the natural human thing to do, your dog's eyesight will never go past this spot.
Okay.
So it'll never get up here to your eyes, okay? So, hey, I'm gonna, see if I was around him and he was being a little bit like that, I would just tell him what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Hey Nico, I'm gonna move this now, is that okay with you? Okay.
It's going away.
It's alright. We need some working room. You guys,
Yeah.
there you go. Yes, good boy, oh good. Yeah.
No.
Give it. He's just not used to putting his attention on you. It's all right. We'll just give him a chance. I'll give him a little bit of time. Yes! I gave him a little help. I don't believe in not giving dogs help if they need it. Yes! See, and here's the thing, he's just used to. Yes, look at that. Oh my goodness, and you're doing it now. Yes. There you go. Yes, you see how it came about?
Paying attention to everything.
Yes! Good boy! Yes! Oh, what a good boy you are! That's okay that he disengaged. This is a lot of pressure on him. I am a strange person towering over him. He's not exactly sure who I am, and I'm creating a very intimate game here because I'm very close to him. So he'll be better with you, or he won't be, you know, I mean, he'll always make a liar out of you. Some but, there you go, you have a few pieces. So remember your hands are at your side. Oh, Haven is going to be so happy. He's going to want to meet you. Is he good with other dogs?
I think he is. He's always gone to the boarding places, and they've always.
So it always, hands are down here.
Yeah.
It starts with you putting a treat on the ground. That's how this starts. Right in front of you, you want to put the treat. Because you want here. You're going to stand still, turn around. Now, there you go, he's following you. So tell him good, and now put the treat down. Don't forget to tell him he's did it right. You marking the behavior. Good. There you go.
Good.
There you go. You marking the behavior is telling them, yes, that's the behavior I want. This is the behavior I'm looking for. Brilliant. Yeah, you and I are becoming chums, huh?
Oh,
That's not liver.
There's something else in there. So as I was saying,
Good.
when we boarded him, he's always out. I mean, he's had a temperament test over there, what they do. So he can be boarded, and they say he does great playing with all the other dogs.
With other dogs.
Yeah. So, but the funny thing too, which hopefully we can work on also, is our other dog and him are very. I think he just gets like scared easily. Just very reactive on the leash.
So when he looks at you, that's when you say good. Good.
Good.
You never have to look at me when I'm talking. Look at your dog. Good.
Good.
He is there. He is with you. So this is, you have taught the dog to pay attention to you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So this will help in,
Walking.
you practice this in one of the bedrooms without the little dog around, because I want it
I'll
distractionless.
make it
Yeah, go. No kids, no nothing, nobody, just you and him. Definitely no Yorkie, no, what is it?
Chorky.
Shorty.
Chihuahua Yorkie.
So,
The blending of the loud breeds. Yes.
and how much did you pay for that dog? No, don't tell me.
Actually, no, he was actually pretty cheap because he was a Craigslist. Was it Craigslist? Yeah, Craigslist. Puppy.
Wow.
And he was really, really, I think he was maybe
Nico.
like 9 weeks old, 10 weeks old, and they were too busy for him.
But it
we
starts
took him.
with you going down on the floor. Treat on the floor. Always starts with a treat on the floor. He's gonna look up, you're gonna say, put your hands down. Wait for him to look up, just wait for it. Don't give him anything. Alright, get a cookie over there. So when the
Get it.
dog disengages,
Nico, get it.
Mm-hmm.
then you want to help him out
Mm-hmm.
when they totally disengage from you. So put the treat down. He looks up at you. Good.
Good.
No, he didn't look up at you though. See, he was doing that before. So okay, so sit down for a little bit. No big thing. If he's not
later.
doing, if the dog is not succeeding,
Mm-hmm.
then get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Just get out of it, because your job is to set the dog up to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
And the way you do that is distractionless place to train, and you train. Now this is, I think I've been going to tell you this 4 or 5 times. Once the dog is fluent in this behavior, if the dog sees something like the bag,
Mm-hmm.
you could do up down right there.
Okay.
You can, you're walking, and it looks like something's going to come that's going to have Nico not be as happy. You back up into a driveway, so his back's all right. You're up, down, up, down, up, down,
Okay.
until and then you can take it into movement, because some dogs like to move more than others. So you do a couple of up downs, and then you go over here.
Mm-hmm.
Good. And then over here. Good. And you will gradually move how far away that was, but you'd start with it, right here by your shoe.
Okay.
But that's ping pong. But now I would do up down. I would do touch.
Mm-hmm.
And let me see if there's anything else. Tell me something you really want your dog to do. Ava.
Oh, Ava. Go
Oh.
Is there any command that you were wanting to work on with Nico? Did you think
Well,
of?
I've been trying to leave it.
Leave it.
Okay.
Good one.
Okay.
And I want to tell you, that was on my cheat sheet. All right, so here's how leave it goes. You're going to, this is a 3-part thing. And for the first week, you're only going to do this first part. The second week, you're going to make it a little more difficult, and the third week, you're going to make it more difficult. What do you think of that chair? I know it's scary as all get out, isn't it? So, this goes like,
Oh no, sorry.
you're going to put treats in your hand, and then you're going to put your hand out here. And your dog is going to come and it's going to futz, 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 futz. Yes, good. And the minute it stops futzing with your hand, you're going to mark that. I don't care if it's not clean. Futz, 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 futz. Good.
See when he moves away, it's like him.
Good.
That's you helping him to learn Nico. So he's not paying attention to you.
Good. See, he didn't futz. Now there's the tricky one. Because you're expecting them to futz with your hand, and they don't futz with your hand. That's when it's important that you have stayed connected to your dog and you're willing to mark the behavior that you've asked him to do. So this goes like this at first, closed hand. It'll go to open hand, and then it'll go to on the floor.
I've been doing like, I put a tree right here, and I cover it, and then if he doesn't get it, then I give him the tree.
That's it. Good. See? You were so smart. You were such a smarty pants. Good. Yes, you were such a smarty pants. Look at that cookie scatter. Clean that up. So that's leave it. So I will send you leave it and up, down, and touch to your email. Plus you are going to get a ton of information from that. Okay? Because just because they have a relationship, you have to know that doesn't mean he has decided that if pushed to his limit, how he answers that is with a bite. So he has been successful in sending those elephants away with a bite, okay? So he's succeeded there twice, and a couple of times with Logan. So, so know that that's available, and what we're going to do is we're going to teach games, especially I hope you come back, I hope you do the whole package. We'll teach games to the dog that keep you safe, keep the dog safe, and build the trust between the two of you, build the relationship. It gets, these games, these up-down games, pattern games that I teach are opening, they're a way to open up a communication with your dog. So you get to the point where your dog is taking over the pattern. Once the dog takes over the pattern instead of disengaging, then you know that the dog is fluent in the pattern. And he is now training you. Put that treat on. Okay, so that, and you don't always have to do it. So don't feel like you're going to be locked in, but you are going to be treating more than you have to this point. And it's because we're going to start to build a relationship and some communication. Okay? So are you going to take the next 3?
I think so. Yeah, I think that's what Cliff was mentioning.
Good.
There's more
Well, because we
lessons
were just
after.
going to do a consultation, but I think it would be good, I think it would be good if Jordan came.
Okay, with Logan, yeah.
I'm sorry,
That's
Logan.
okay.
The other Jordan. No, the other Logan. No. So, and Logan can watch this. The GoPro takes time to upload, so it might be a day or 2. That will upload pretty quickly. my cell phones, but this is 4K and it takes time, and I have a really little tiny thread.
That's fine, no problem.
But he can look at that,
Okay.
and you're going to get all sorts of things.
Okay.
So, no more face in the dog's face, because he doesn't do well with it. All right. If I put my boxer on a leash and we met outside, if this dog decides to lunge, are you
Holding him? I can hold him.
okay? So elbows are here. This is leverage. Elbows are here at your waist. Make a habit. That way you are never going to be caught off guard. Okay? Elbows here, and let the dog, walk, and then, well, good. So,
Okay, so to summarize everything, you feel that he is obviously teachable, but this is a learning his behaviors and communicating with him differently.
yes, we are both going to change our habits.
Right, the human and the animal, and not an aggressive, I need to probably go look for another
home for him. I don't think so. I think he would be devastated. He loves your kids. He loves your family. And
but I mean, if it came to that, I would obviously for my kids I would, but I would.
But I want you to know that he has solved the equation by using his teeth. So that's a little bit more on the spectrum than if he's never bit,
Right.
So he's well, this is, I can get what I want by doing this. And he wants to be left alone, probably. He wants to know, he startles. Okay? So, he startles in strange places too.
Yeah.
So I would just let him know. I'm going to do this now. My Yorkie would turn into Cujo if I tried to pick it up. My 6-pound dog. So I would go, I'm going to pick you up now, and I put my hand down here. I wouldn't touch him. And if he started to flatten to the ground, I took my hand out. I went, okay, fine, let's go, and I let him walk himself out. But if he just stood there, then I could pick him up. But I started communicating with him. I'm going to move now. I'm going to do this. So, have a conversation with your dog. It's fine.
Yeah, when my other dog is in there, I like
Wait, I can't hear you.
when my other dog is in my room, I tell him like what we're gonna do. I said like let's go downstairs and get a treat, and he knows.
Oh, yeah.
His like ears like, and then he'll come to the door because
Yeah. It's pretty simple. For sure.
Well, I'll let him meet. Haven has never met a dog that he doesn't love.
Oh, okay.
Haven will play the fool in a minute. He came to me with some bad habits, which I have worked very hard on. But habits are habits. We have habits, and when we are stressed, we fall back on those habits. So that's what you need to know. And have everybody watch the body language, because it's important. I have a body language book over here, but it's really for professionals, because even I was like, really? It's what's in this dog's mind? I'm like, well, it's this, and then it would be something else, but it didn't look like that to me, So it's hard in pictures, but you can see.
Okay.
You start to see some of the zoom in shows you the stress signals.
Okay.
This is what the dog looks like when he's stressed. This is what a relaxed dog looks like.
Yes. This is much
And-
more relaxed.
And you have to watch for, with body language, you have to watch for
a puckering of the mouth, that's not a good sign.
What is that? It's like a.
It's like they just,
Okay.
it's like right before, it's like this puckering that they
Mhm.
do. It's like,
With their lips closed, kind of.
Mm.
Okay.
What? Is that like
No teeth yet, but like a.
no teeth.
Like a
It's right.
closed
It's right
lid.
before teeth.
Mhm. Okay.
Teeth are coming quickly on the heels of
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
But licking can be a sign of stress.
Mhm.
Having the paw up, a sign of stress.
Mhm.
Weight forward, a sign of aggression. Weight back, a sign of stress.
Mhm.
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 So you'll see Haven, and Haven wiggles. Everything wiggles about it. He's this wiggly thing. So
The boxy way.
that's a dog that, is comfortable.
Mhm.
He's in a good state of mind. That can change in a second though if you felt threatened.
Mhm.
He has a poodle, standard poodle, that I have a client with a standard poodle, and he comes out after each one of our lessons. Hayden comes out here and plays with the standard poodle. Well, the standard poodle was not expecting Haven's place. He wanted to jump on Haven, and Haven backed away, and then boom, and then he goes into this sudden motion, and the you have to look at the eyes too, how much of the whites of the eyes are showing.
Mhm.
But this dog's pretty comfortable now. He's had a good time. Definitely
He has had a good
use
time.
his kibble.
Okay.
Use morning kibble. Do a few treats when your coffee is percolating. You can do up down with
Okay.
him.
Okay. So we're gonna practice it. Okay. So we're doing these commands so we can kind of strengthen the relationship with him and kind of him.
We're getting the relationship back
Yeah.
on an even keel.
Okay. Good.
And
Okay.
we're opening up, okay, I'm going to pay attention to you now.
Right. Okay.
And you're going to pay more attention to me now.
Okay.
And
That's
we're going to be in sync.
Yes.
So there's no guarantees. There's never a guarantee. That's with any end. There's no guarantees. But we can certainly strive at making it better. And you do not have a dog that has ill will. He really enjoys the relationship. So
And then at some point work on his, like I said, because he needs more help with walking. It's just his reactions to everything happening around him with other dogs, other people, things.
pattern games will help with that.
Okay.
And you can help with that by making a U-turn and walking the other direction. Okay? And so you take that part of the equation out. The other thing I used to do is I would walk, and then I'd tell my dog, run! And I'd run a little bit. I did it with the Yorkie, so I didn't have to run very fast. And then I'd slow down to a walk. So that because my Yorkie used to bark at everybody. So
that's faster, but Nico will if he'll stare.
Yeah.
And then he'll start.
So if you teach the dog that run is something that you two do and is fun, when a distraction is coming up that is going to cause a trigger for Nico or the other little dog, then you say run, and you run a little bit. What you want the dog to understand, run means we're going to do a fun thing, because you can't just go run, because then the dog's looking around going, uh-oh, what's happening? What's the matter? Should I be on alert? So you just teach it, and it's just a change of pace, and it's an easy thing to do, and it's a fun thing to do with them. And it got to the point, it didn't take long, it got to the point that the Yorkie never barked at anyone.
Oh, good. Is that because, but then once around I guess I'm wondering when they're right next, would it help to be near those things that
No,
bother them? Because,
distance is your friend.
Okay.
Distance
Because how
is
do
your
they get used to it if they're not? You know what I mean? If we
You
keep
get
moving
you
them
get
away.
a dog fluent enough in a pattern game
Okay.
that they're like, okay, I don't care what's going on in the environment. I'm playing up down with mother.
Mhm. Okay.
This is more fun
Mhm.
than being about the environment, and it creates comfort in the dog.
Mhm.
It is predictable. This is predictable. This behavior is predictable. So I don't have to worry about what's unpredictable out there. I'm in a predictable
Okay.
pattern.
So
So it's like you-
practice, he'll,
yeah.
It'll be to that level where he'll just.
Yes, and it'll be to the level where we can do a pattern game called "Look at That," which is really where's the kitty, and it's not
Oh,
like
where's the
it-
kitty?
Where's the kitty? Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and the dog will tell you where the kitty is. It'll show you, and you get to have this conversation with the dog, and the dog starts telling you, "This is
You're so
happening."
silly. Uh-huh.
This is happening, so hey, this is gonna happen, so maybe, and you can go, oh yeah, I see the jogger. You
Mhm.
just acknowledge what he just told you, and it becomes, okay.
Like we don't care.
A dog with tools is always better
Yes.
than a dog. And you guys are going to start to understand this dog at a different level because you're going to start to understand the body language.
Mhm.
And you're going to start to watch the body language between the two dogs and what they're doing. And if you're curious about something, video it, put it up on YouTube and send it to me. Send the link to me and
Okay.
I'll decipher what I can
Okay.
with it. You need a YouTube page, but that's not
Yeah.
hard to do it all. It's not hard.
Okay.
And you just pick a name, the right name, and then you have your YouTube page, and I just upload. I go upload to. Actually, I think with the GoPro I do create and I go down and upload it. But with this, I just go share, and YouTube comes up, and I press YouTube,
And you're done.
and I name it, and it's over. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, all right.
Okay, great.
So then we have. I'm going to stop this.
Mhm.